Well, welcome everybody. We have Ashley Tobias and Nolan Morten, from Save Nebraska Local, and they are going to tell us their stories and then also tell us about their organization. And we'll let you guys have the floor.
Okay. You want me to start?
Sure, I can go. Well, Ashley joined a few months ago, and it's been such a blessing to have her and Justin, such a stress relief. They do so many things now for me. They have strengths and weaknesses I don't, so I'm just so happy to have Ashley, on board and helping. So Save Nebraska Local kind of got started. My story actually went to Southeast Community College, so that's part of my story as well. But when I graduated college, I actually graduated UNL and went the 2-year program with SEC. And then I went into the world of finance, and I was selling investment bonds. And mainly I was selling, municipal bonds to institutional companies like banks and trusts and things like that. So not a whole lot of financial planning. That was actually a weakness of mine. But I was doing that for about 4 years, selling bonds, and that opportunity was more or less from my family. So my dad did that, and it's super lucrative, and it would have been a great career. And then I decided, for a number of reasons, I loved working with my family, but I went to Chicago for like a networking meeting. And it was all these sort of fancy type people with, $1,000 watches and probably even more than that. But the conversations they were having, I just wasn't resonating with. And sometimes I just didn't agree with the ethics of those kinds of conversations. And I couldn't personally connect to those people. And then I had an epiphany on the way back from the airport. A lot of my friends were entrepreneurs, but I had a conversation with the Uber driver, and that conversation was awesome. And so from there, I just really wanted to have more conversations with ordinary people. And then I actually, part of my journey, I don't know is anybody familiar with Ty Lopez? Anybody? Okay. And so he's an interesting cat, but I sort of learned about marketing from Ty Lopez. I wouldn't necessarily recommend learning from him, but he had a course that had this, a number of speakers on marketing, and one of the people I resonated with was this guy named Joe Soto, and he had this strategy for local businesses and to help them get more customers in their through their doors, and it was giveaways. So I wound up getting a bunch of clients while I was an Uber driver. So I quit that job, became an Uber driver, and then started getting clients for digital marketing. And specifically, I was helping people get reach and engagement on Facebook, and this was years and years ago. It feels like 8 years ago. And you could actually get some reach on your business page with a post. Now it's kind of like crickets if you post on your business page, but So I learned that strategy, and it actually really worked. So I took one business, and they went up 200% in revenue. And then the next month, it was 300% over the base month. So I started doing that, and then, over the next 2 years of doing that, I had like 7 or 8 clients, but they were all in different industries. So I was servicing marketing to a whole bunch of different, I was doing a whole bunch of different tasks. And then I wound up getting a coaching call with that Joe Soto guy who was a mentor. You're basically a coach for me for a month or two. And he said, you're doing way too many different things. And, it's from there I started to actually lose clients because I couldn't give each individual one the attention they needed. And, I was formulating at the time a strategy on how do I get clients within a niche. So that's one of the things I learned is that, I have to pick with respect to digital marketing, I would have to pick a specific niche to focus on and deliver that specific thing. Otherwise, my mind is just all over the place and it makes it difficult to scale. So that's the problem I ran into. But it was around that same time that I discovered somebody else who was following that guy. And he had, in Tennessee, he built this Facebook group. And it was Chattanooga. And he was getting all this advertising, all these advertising customers, paying a fraction of what I charge for like digital marketing services, but there's still, it's more or less automated. But I really like that idea because I really like ideas that benefit so many people without costing them anything. And so there's so many people, I think we've generated millions of dollars in revenue for local businesses. And like, if we didn't have those leads coming into our Facebook group, Save Lincoln Local, I mean, they'd just be going to Google. And the average spend for a local business nationally is about $5,000 to $12,000. So, per month.
So you don't necessarily have a way to track. Of course, I'm familiar with what you guys do.
Yeah.
You being here today. But somebody goes on and says, "I need a plumber,"
Mm-hmm.
and then you have anywhere from 5 to 50 posts of people recommending 20 different plumbers.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any way to quantify this person got help and it was a $200 job or a $2,000 job? Is there any way to track
I think that would be up to the plumber who was chosen. Like for us, for a moving company, we have in our CRM a lead tracking system. And so when something comes in from Save Lincoln Local, and someone pops in there that they found us on there, it resonates. And that's important for businesses to do anyways, however you track it. Because you want to know.
But that's on your side. I'm asking
Yeah.
on his side. Is there a way to quantify what's going on the safety?
That would probably just
Say
be,
Nebraska local side.
that would be like 3 full-time jobs, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Oh, no, I just
Yeah, I mean, imagine following up with everybody who asks. That would be a lot of time. Probably.
I'm asking if you understand I guess the bottom line is, do you understand the impact, or do you know the impact that you're having?
We wouldn't be able to quantify it. What I do is I kind of do an average of the posts per day, multiply that by, the number of days in a year. And, some of the posts that come through, they're 100K projects for GC remodeling. So, and I know we've had multiple of those, and that's, I think, where the majority of the revenue that's generated by the group is going. But yeah, it'd be difficult to quantify, very difficult. Is there a way to do it? Not without going off of the Facebook group platform. So, we could probably do generate phone numbers for each specific business that's listed, and then track that, and then track the conversations, see if they close, follow up with everybody. But again, it would just take so much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said 5 to 12,000 per month for what though?
PPC ads on Google.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Google, and people pay it because they get an ROI generally. So, not a lot of people in Lincoln spend that, but when you take the bigger cities, I think that's where that number's coming from.
That's
Yeah. Any other questions?
I mean, just for the sake of the group.
Yeah.
say I know what it
It means, but ROI.
Return on investment. So I think of it like a vending machine. It's not, but you put in $1 and you get $5 back. Now that's simplifying it, because if you're a plumber, you get a 5x return on it, your ad spend, for instance. You still have to go to do the work. Yeah, you still have to go to do the work. But yeah. Anything else? Bill?
For the record, as we've known each other for probably 4 years or so, we've
Uh-huh.
had multiple conversations over the years, and I've had many conversations with Ashley just as well. So are you still doing the preferred vendor program?
Yes, sir.
How does that work?
That's a core offer of ours. basically the way I think about that is just like a recent story that I think highlights the value of having preferred vendors for a Facebook group. First of all, most Facebook groups have no moderation. And they won't have moderation unless there's some monetary incentive for them to do so. And so that keeps things a little bit more pleasant in the group. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. Also, when it comes to recommending people, we meet people that we know. Versus Google, they don't ever see or interact with anybody. Yeah. We meet people, we make sure they have character. For those big projects, one of the customers I'm proud of is Lincoln Demolition and Excavation. They charge a huge price, and they charge what they should for their service because, all that equipment is millions of dollars, and then it's maintenance, and they have what they need to get the job done right. But over the course of owning this group for 3 years, I get so many complaints from people, not about preferred vendors. I mean, we have had that in the past, but it's been years. I would say that the majority of the complaints come from people who are charging the minimum price, and that's what we're trying to mitigate with our preferred vendor program, is giving people an option that's vetted with good reviews, good character, and we ask if they're licensed and insured. It'd be another nightmare to keep track of that. But yeah, that's kind of, we actually meet the people, we know them, and I think that's where the value comes to the consumer. And then the business, it's kind of difficult to make everybody happy, but we want to create win-win situations for the business owner and make sure they're getting an ROI, but also for the consumer by giving them an option that's vetted.
So where did the idea for Save Lincoln Local, you woke up one morning, thought, this would be great, let's just advertise local businesses. Where did the inspiration?
Yeah, so I don't know if I was necessarily even motivated by money, but it was a factor. I think, so one of our core values is, first of all, give more than you take. And so the amount of time and energy and even money, I put in a lot of money to grow the group, it has paid off, but it's really the connections that I've made with people and also providing that value, because there's people that get, they'll get business without ever paying us a dime, which is not the case in any other ecosystem. And so I like ideas like that benefit so many other people, even if they don't, reciprocate in any way. Go
I
ahead.
appreciate how you are promoting making business. There's a lot of underground that people really don't know anything about.
Yeah.
I talk to people, I went to Save Lincoln Local. I found somebody there, but I just really appreciate that promoting Lincoln.
Yeah, absolutely. So the posts that come through, it's I would say it's like networking on steroids.
It's true.
So if you could think of Save Lincoln Local and Save Nebraska Local as our LLC, and that's so we can expand into Omaha when the time comes. But I would say when you could think of Save Lincoln Local like the most networked person in the city, because not only is it getting more business inquiries than any individual is, it's also thousands of people are witnessing those conversations. So that's the way I think of it, at least through that frame. So yeah.
Is Facebook your only platform?
So we're looking at going on to TikTok. Unfortunately, TikTok, Instagram, I think Ashley would be good at that.
I did, yeah, we have the TikTok account. I've created a couple Reels or TikToks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my goals, is to grow that. I haven't gone on to Instagram yet with it, but definitely.
That's part of the plan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, Instagram doesn't have a group function, and TikTok doesn't either, so people can't post themselves.
Part of what I'm doing, the little videos that I've created so far on TikTok is just kind of us and Justin out and what we're doing. Like I created one the other day. We were at Sweet Jane Salon, and they allowed us to do this oxygen therapy that they do whenever you get a haircut. And so I sat there, recorded that. That was a really cool thing.
It was cool.
And we got to go through the entire salon. They showed us outside, and you can do all these vendor things. So being able to showcase the other businesses when we visit them, I think is really a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, our TikTok strategy would be similar to just providing it'd be similar to the Facebook group in that we'll just be providing value, like sharing, top 3 local businesses, basically coming up with we're in the midst of coming up with a strategy for those platforms so we can grow I think we could grow a larger audience on those platforms, but it is time consuming, and we'd have to make sure that we have the time for it and do it well. So
That's
yeah.
clear. So, how did you and, by the way, Justin's her husband.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I can introduce myself.
Yes.
Most of you,
Sorry.
Nolan hijacked the whole thing.
My bad.
Just kidding. No, my name's Ashley, and most of you know me from T-Square Movers. My husband, Justin, and I own T-Square Movers, and we've been a preferred vendor for about a year now. And we've been in Save Lincoln Local for longer than that. And so it's been really, really cool watching that grow and getting to know Nolan and getting to know everyone. And when we first got back into networking after years of not doing it, our first experience was going back into the free networking that we do at Save Lincoln Local. And it was easy, because you have created a culture where everything is laid back, and it's like you can go there after your hard day and you can just really get to know people without feeling like you have to give a 60-second elevator pitch. And while those things are amazing, I believe if you're in the beginning stages of doing that, it can feel overwhelming. And so just being able to get to know everybody through there has been awesome. But so the reason why Justin and I became preferred, we were already getting recommended for our moving company, but the reason why we became preferred is because there's a software that he had started implementing. And Justin, if you know my husband and all, you know that he is like a huge tech nerd, and he loves all those things. So we've met with Nolan several times. We signed on, and we put the software in our moving company and started implementing it. I started seeing the results right away. I started being able to have a little bit more freedom in my time, to where they did this missed call text back feature, where if I'm in a meeting like this, or if I go to LP Fitness, or if I'm doing something with my family or whatever, then that's a really good feature, because what you said, 60% of people
60% of calls to local businesses are missed.
Yeah. So then if I do miss that call, then an automatic text will send out to the customer saying, hey, I'm so sorry I missed you. I promise I'm going to get to you. I'm just busy right now.
And they have a form.
Yeah.
So they automatically send the form so that the customer can actually initiate the process.
Majority of the calls that I'm getting are people that want an estimate for moving. So the form sends it to them, and a lot of times they can fill out the form without ever even talking to me, and then I can call them, devote my time to them more efficiently. Another really cool feature of the software is the web chat. So they put this little widget on our website that has my face on it. And so if you go there, you can click on it and it pops up. It asks for your name, your email or phone number, and then like a little blurb of what you're looking for. And then it sends it to my phone, but it also sends it to Justin's, and we can hire an assistant and have it send to that person if we wanted. And I could start the conversation, go into a meeting, and then tell Justin to take over, and he can see the entire conversation. So it's like never missing a beat. The person never even realizes that they're not talking just to one person at that point. That's been really, really effective for our business.
Absolutely.
So
You said that's part of being a preferred
So yes,
Yeah.
at the moment we're onboarding all of our preferreds for free to the software.
Okay.
But eventually, I think once we hit a kind of a critical mass, we'll separate those things.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to add as much value to that
Sure.
program as we can. And some people, they don't have a CRM, so it serves that function as well. I mean, people ask me what it does, and it's easier to answer what doesn't it do. The software, it's not something I built, it's something I resell. But I view that as phase 2 from a business perspective of, because Save Lincoln Local is kind of half philanthropic and then half business. So on the business side, I think this has a lot more scalability in terms of, with our preferred program, I don't feel comfortable having too many of one person recommended.
Okay.
And it also reduces the value to have more and more people within the same industry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's just throw it out there today. I recommend a lot through there.
Mhm.
A lot of times I'm recommending people who are preferred.
Yeah.
And like the company I use for accounting, as an example.
Yeah.
They do a great job. They've saved me thousands of dollars over the years, but you already have a preferred accountant that you use.
Yeah.
Is there room for 2 preferred accountants at any point in time? Or
Yes.
do you just stick to that one preferred accountant?
It depends on demand. That's an area we have enough demand. So that's the other bottleneck from a business perspective for me is I don't feel comfortable selling it to an industry that isn't necessarily getting a whole lot of inquiries. So like for a donut shop, nobody's asking for donuts in a given year.
So if you don't know your favorite
So-
donuts, can't help you.
So I'd be a lot more comfortable selling software to a donut shop than I would be selling advertising, and that's just part of, and I do think we could probably create something unique for the donut shop and get them an ROI that way. But again, it would be extra work for us to do that every time that there's an industry that's not getting enough inquiries, whereas the preferred program is more or less runs itself.
So
So-
on that actually falls into my next question then, on that preferred program. So we'll pick on Paul.
Okay.
Okay, everybody knows. Most people here know Paul. Paul's a great guy. He's one of your preferred insurance, property casualty insurance providers.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes in there and says, I need car insurance, does the AI pick up and say, oh, it says
No.
auto insurance, let's recommend Paul?
I wish.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing. Maybe in the future. I don't use AI a ton. I do see its potential. I think there's a lot of opinions out there about it. But yeah, and I don't even know if it's possible to do that right now with a Facebook group. But we do, we share that amongst each other, and we also have an assistant that helps do some of that. And then we have keywords and things like that. And then the assistant will reach out if they have questions. But yeah, so most of that is done, actually all of that is done manually. So yeah.
So do you have a limited number for each industry? If like for movers, you're only going to have like 2 or 3 preferred, or
So-
are you at that point?
So we have our rule is a max of 3, but just the way I think we would get more is by generating more inquiries. So that's part of the plan as well, is because if we add, let's say, a second round of preferreds, then that's more mouths to feed in my mind. So, and I want to feed all those mouths, and so I want to at least double the inquiries we're getting, and then on a case-by-case basis look at the demand for that industry.
One
And, yeah.
of my goals over the next year is to double the growth inside of the group. Right now, there's almost 22,000, and so I'd like to see it hit 40 to 45. And we can do that by doing more giveaways.
Yep.
So that's going to be in the future, is reaching out to businesses and seeing how can we promote you by doing a giveaway. And whenever you do a giveaway, then that's encouraging the consumers to invite people, and so we can really grow that way, and then it can help all of the businesses get some
Yeah.
traction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah.
No, I'm serious.
So,
We
well,
want to get to the point where we're doing, you wanted to do one giveaway a week? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, at least
Yeah.
start with maybe one a month,
Yeah.
and then we can figure out,
yeah.
who's doing the most, and,
What do you mean by giveaway? I think I'm serious.
So,
So-
for instance,
No, they've had some really awesome giveaways.
yeah.
Are you giving away pencils or are you giving away services?
So we're not giving away services necessarily. Sometimes I think like a massage would be
All right.
a good service to give away.
yeah, like at a hair salon, maybe they give away their shampoo and conditioner,
Yeah.
or whatever.
So for instance, so like one of the benefits of building this, at least for me, is the connections that I made, and those connections have led to me buying with some other people a ice cream business. So last month, for instance, we did a giveaway for a year of free ice cream. And so to enter, generally you have to do something that benefits the group, like inviting more people into the group or asking for a service that you need in your house or something like that. So that's how we would organically generate more leads.
So if like some industries like what I do, what Davey do, like Davey does.
David Do.
We can give away what we do, but in our instance, we would basically raffle a gift card, or how would
That's
that-
what I do for the moving company. I can't really just give away a move because that person who's winning probably isn't moving. So I like
We're going to California.
to. But I like to support local businesses. So maybe I go get a gift card from Lincoln Ice Cream Company, or, my favorite restaurants, Art and Soul, Lulu's Chocolate, something to support and stimulate our local businesses in the economy. And then it says that it's from us.
And then we would have your name attached to it.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And one of the giveaways that gave was a basket
Full of various things from various vendors.
Yeah.
out of Lincoln. That's good, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we wound up getting like over $1,000 of value of local donations, and that was massages, cleanings, various things. Axe throwing, I think, was in there. All sorts of stuff. And, people see that, and I really like when, because a lot of times, like, if you give away something, people assume it's a scam. But it's never a scam for us, but we just want to make it clear that, we're actually giving this away. But a lot of people see like a PS5, like I think I grew the group 8,000 members with a PS5 giveaway along with a gift basket. And, sometimes the more value, the better in the giveaway, but, I would say the reason that one did so well is because I had a picture of the Capitol in the background, and people knew, oh, this is somebody from Nebraska. It's not somebody trying to hose me over or something like that. So, but yeah.
I have a question. This is curiosity's sake. See a lot of posts from anonymous members.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who that anonymous member is?
We do.
I don't memorize it, but I do see it.
You see it?
Mhm. I see their name. Yeah.
I'm always curious. Sometimes I'll like have a conversation with somebody and see a post on there and be like, I know who that is.
Not as mine.
Yeah, so the only non-anonymity would be me seeing it.
True.
Yeah. But people like that because they can ask for things that are, more private.
Right. Super cool feature.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to point out that you guys, Save Lincoln Local, has a free networking bake at the Piedmont Farmer.
Yeah.
Fourth Thursday of the month, which is today.
Tonight.
6
yeah.
o'clock.
6 to 7:30. So it's a great way of meeting some of these other vendors, the people getting to know Nolan and Ashley.
Yeah, and like Ashley was saying, I think I like to, I don't necessarily have an agenda for the people I'm meeting there, and I think people really like that. I just like to, people talk all the time, like people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and that can happen, I think, naturally among people, and that's what the environment that I'm trying to create and Ashley's trying to create is a relaxed one where you can have fun and just relax and enjoy connecting with other people.
We do a second one too, though.
Yeah.
The second Thursdays of the month, where it's more of a mastermind.
Yeah.
So then we trade off. I did the last one on hiring. The one before that, Justin did SEO and website, and so Nolan will probably do the next one on Facebook.
Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And are those open to the public then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right now. They're currently at the other harbor on Highway 2.
14 Highway.
Yeah.
2,
But they're growing. Like the last one we did, we completely packed the house. So as much as I love harbor, it's just maybe not going to be a future space if we keep growing that way.
That's a good indication though of your outreach.
Yeah.
Right, in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something we could, I think, for that one specifically, we could run ads for that and then get a lot of people interested
Yeah.
in.
What time is that?
So the last time, I think Ashley did it and it was at 1:30.
Yeah, 1:30.
Sometimes they're at noon.
Sometime around
keep an eye on
midday, lunchtime.
Yeah, it's typically at noon, but 1:30 can be a possibility as well.
That's really great that you had that kind of turnout for the middle of a workday.
Yeah.
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 But we all, as entrepreneurs, we all test stuff, right? You test, is this going to work? Is this location going to work?
Yeah.
Go from there.
It was a question a lot of people wanted to know more about was hiring, and that's a very big topic. You could go off on a whole 6-week class on that in and of itself, but
Any tips or tricks? I got somebody coming in here, top of the gallery there. So, and why we're talking about hiring.
This will
Like
be an
it-
hour segment.
yeah, I have the slideshow that I can send you.
Okay.
One of my favorite questions to ask when I do an interview, I don't always ask it, but let's say that I hired you and then 60 days from now, I had to let you go. Why? And that question,
Why, Bill?
why, Bill?
Probably because I wasn't thinking.
And the kind of answers you get will vary based on the industry you're in and just based on that person, but it will tell you a lot. Some may answer, well, you won't have to fire me because I'm amazing or whatever. And some people will go off on a tangent on their life story, and that just opens the doors for you learning a lot more about them and their situation, maybe their character and where they're coming from.
Or they just can't answer it at all, right? Do you get that too?
Yeah, and that's
You
fine.
didn't train me very well.
I like asking what's going good. What's going good in your life? What's going good instead of just saying how are you, or been busy. Of course you're busy. We're all busy. That sets like a negative tone, and so you want to uplift the conversation with optimism, because if you give someone the gift of optimism, then the conversation is going to change. You're going to get a lot more out of them, and they're going to buy into you a lot more.
All right, so some questions that we ask our guest speakers. What gets you perked up? What gets you going every day and gets you motivated to go out and do what you do?
For me, it is the joy of being able to grow something and build something. I work alongside my husband, and being able to do that with him has been really a great experience, and Nolan has become very close with us. And then on like the moving side, I would say building up my employees and seeing what gets them going helps me with them achieving their goals.
I would say, I have kind of an ADD, and a lot of people have that, I think. So I have like 4 different businesses that I'm involved with.
Okay.
One of the keys for me has been finding the right people to help me with the things I'm not good at. Like Ashley's great at organization and leadership and operations. All 3 of those are weaknesses, I think, for me. And then Justin's really good at the technology side, and also like calmly dealing with people, maybe dealing with technological issues. And then also, I think we'll all be good at sales in our own way. But I would say the thing for me is just the uniqueness and the novelty of like adding a new layer to what I'm doing. So that keeps things interesting for me. Like with the software, it's been a real journey to like learn and understand it, and to go through all the different process of like showing people how to use it, and then learning about it myself. That just like something new and unique has to be in my life for me to be excited about the day. So.
Wait, we were just saying, Nolan, it reminds me of a book that we read for a book club called Rocket Fuel. Have either one of you heard about that? It's through the EOS system.
Okay.
But it talks about how visionaries and integrators work together. So you have someone, like just what you were talking about, you're looking at the next thing, and maybe not what your strengths are in certain areas, so then you find people that help you complete that. So
yeah.
I don't know if the 3 of you or your team would like to read that. It's a short read.
It's based on EOS?
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Yep,
familiar with
it's in that
EOS.
library of
Gotcha.
EOS books. So on that note, segue into, do you have a favorite podcast or a book? Doesn't have to necessarily be a professional development that you listen to that you would like to recommend.
My favorite is John Maxwell's 21 Laws of Leadership. I am currently reading High Road Leadership. That's his newest. I'm getting so much from that. It's a slow read for me because I'm just very, very busy. But this book that he did is about bridging the gap and the divide between this polarized world that we're living in, and how you can implement that into business and be a better leader. And there are so many ways that you can do that. You can do that within your home, within your relationships, within your teams. And I can't wait to see more people read this, and maybe it'll fix some things.
Catch fire, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I have favorite books for different categories. My favorite book, personally, is, I probably read it like 8 times. And I actually don't read books a lot, but this is one I read over and over, is Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. So I just feel really good reading that book, and it reminds me, in terms of, there's a lot of people who talk about overthinking as a flaw that they have, and I think Eckhart Tolle really highlights the fact that you have a deeper layer to your experience, where you don't necessarily have to be identified with the automatic thoughts in your head, which are constantly going. And, he has some different methods of, kind of being the witness of those thoughts rather than just following those thoughts wherever they go. So
Like a shift in a mindset.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah. And, he's just so profound. I also view, I watch a lot of his YouTube, and I view him as a stand-up comedian. So, he's extremely funny, and, I really like his story quite a bit.
What was his name again?
Eckhart Tolle. Some people say Tolle.
Tolle.
Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite book for personal reasons. And then 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Actually, the title is really boring to me. But that, to me, it's also kind of a spiritual book because it shows like what it looks like to relate to people in a positive way that's good for you and good for them. Like seek first to understand and then be understood. That's a great concept, and a lot of our core values we get from that book, I would say. So.
And last question that I'll ask, which I feel that both of you could probably talk about for a long time, but what are some of your favorite local businesses? What are some of your favorite local businesses?
I like Fortune Palace lately.
For Chinese?
Chinese food, yeah. Probably my number one favorite local business is Bung Tao, which is a Vietnamese restaurant on 27th and Y.
Okay.
Has anybody been there? Yeah. It
We haven't
is.
had Chinese in forever, but we used to get Ming's all the time.
Oh, Ming's is good, yeah.
Yeah. I frequent Art and Soul.
Art and Soul's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. The eclectic vibe. When you walk in, there's a little retail store. You can take art classes and cooking classes, date nights. You can have your kids do some classes. And their Rice Krispie treats are top notch.
Mm-hmm.
Dessert charcuterie is dangerous.
Yeah, like it's so good. They've always got a really good cake there or a cookie or something. And don't skip dessert if you go there.
And that's great. Any other ones?
Well, I just bought an ice cream company, so
Okay.
it's called.
We're all about self-promotion.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, it's called Lincoln Ice Cream Company. It's formerly Scoops, and before that, I think it was Baskin Robbins, but it's over next to Honest Abe's in Meadow Lane.
Just about the location.
Yep. So the Scoops on Van Doren's still there.
We don't care about
Yeah. I wish we got that one. That one's good too. So.
that. I used to use the square.
No, we can't do that. We can make triangles specifically for you, or circles, cylinders. I'll do cylinders for you.
I'm doing that.
Pentagons, I think, is your.
Are there any other questions? All right, well, I want to thank both of you for coming today and sharing your stories and sharing what you're doing for our community. Thank you for all that you do. And I'll be interested to see how that continues to grow with new social media and how that impacts. It's a different avenue, different way to get customers in. So thank you for speaking. Did a very great presentation.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming today. Next week, Cassie is going to be speaking. She's in the audience today, so we look forward to hearing what Cassie has to say and tell about her journey. Hope all of you have a great week. Have a safe holiday, and we will see you back on Thursday. Thanks.
It's for people.